This is going to be kind of a side thing. Huh. I wonder. Because we're going to have an antique show at the fair next weekend. Get that back on. I can't believe this. I was looking at August. That's this weekend. I have to tell Mom. Hopefully we can make it. Anyway, yeah, this is going to be a sort of a side view or side video. Where I just look at these ads. Yeah, Lemons is still around. You get an order chop. Mention that. I do recognize that logo though. Did they have that in '95 when I went? Maybe. It was KAL. Taco John's, that's still around. Fixed Doll, that's sadly not around anymore. But I know where it is. It was right around here. Right here. Because if we go older ones, see? You know, that's more of the hotel, but right there. Yeah, like I said, sadly it's not there anymore. Bubble tea. 96.7. I don't think are they still around? The Shopko. That's gone now. I don't recognize that. Hoffman House, that's not there anymore, sadly. Well, here's a place I really miss. We had really good chicken there. I think they're still around. Last time I checked, they were Sports Talk. Oh, they're still around. And let's see. Daniels, no, I don't think that's around. And yes, Mother's Day is coming up in a couple days, so we're gonna actually be celebrating tomorrow night. See, Adamson's, yep, they're still around. Dad got his 94 Dodge Caravan, that's where he got it. And Bonanza. I don't think we were ever at that one. We were in one in Janesville when it first opened, really good. And then we stopped at the one in Fort Dodge at their mall many a time. In Chateau, but that's not the one down here though. I think that's the one up north. Middle Creek, that's still around. Register Laboratory Supply. I'm not sure they have Laboratory Jewelries now. Laboratory Jewelers now. Bottle Garden Restaurant, no. Yeah, Lord Essex, that's still around. And they have the same symbol still. The same logo. I just walked past it today. It's in the Kaler Grand. Continuing on. Collins, yep. Even though that's going to change pretty soon. We got to get over there, though. Because they have an antique place. Last time we were there, they had a big brass blade fan. We'll try to get over there next weekend or something. No. And I don't think the Northbrook's there anymore either. Well, it looks like it still is. Let's see what it is. Evidently it's River Center now. Wally's Garden isn't. I don't think it is anymore either. 86. Nope, they're not anymore. They were at the Apache Mall. I remember it. Alaska Jewelers. As you very well know, they are still around. Because they are the first place that I've seen that got the System Sensor L-Series LEDs. Audio King, that's a cool place. I got a shelf system there back in the 90s. Let's see. You know, right here, I think, where the school hut was, or is. In that section there. Like I said, I got a shelf system there. Richard Ends. No. Goodman. I think they're still around. I guess not really. Depot, yeah, they're still around. Mom and Dad have rented some stuff from there before. Michael, sadly, that's not there anymore. Literally. He just demolished it a couple months ago. It's right on the other side of the, whatchamacallit. Wendy's, of course, still around. Galleria. Perkins, of course, is still around. Mom and Dad and I were there a couple weeks ago, and then we met my staff there and his family. Here, I'll show you.
The whole gang here.
Yep.
Hi, good. How are you?
It says clean. I'm not sure. Marcus, that's what I was trying to think of. I'm not even sure if I mentioned that. I did, but might have ended up on the virtual cutting room floor. That was our cable company before Charter came in. Richmond, sadly, that's not there anymore. Comes up quite often, like the Rochester, Minnesota Facebook group, not fake book group. QTV is still around. KSMQ. I've been in their studio before because when I was in Austin, I studied desktop video at Riverland, and we were in their studio. Rennings are still around. They used to be in the subway. One of the stores that got flooded a couple years ago when the pipe burst downstairs. Intuit Center. Yeah, they're still around. I've never been in there, but... And of course, Best Buy's still around. I've been in there many, many a time. Country Kitchen, no. GLP Orthodontics. Even though it was... Yep, that's what I thought. A ranch. That was another really good place for chicken. Yeah, we'll get an 89 Bolton. Happy Sleeper, no. I think I've heard of them, so... Obviously 89, so I think I've heard of them before. They closed.
You scared me too.
Alright, here's Austin. Aaron's, yep, they're still around. Yeah. Quality Appliance, no. Skyline Mall's still there, but it's kind of a dead mall now, and surprisingly, ironically, Walmart moving out is what caused it to be a dead mall, because Walmart was their anchor. I think so. I know at least the trucks are still around. Mom and Dad got their 89 Ford LTD. LTE. LTD, they got it there. It's Albert Lee Park Cinemas. That's the only part of the mall that still survives. You know, it's called something different now. It's on Fire X. There's a whole bunch of icons. Hey, there we go. There we go. Again, that's where I got my 300 when I had my first one. There we go. Yeah, here's Fire X. New Dimension Lighting, huh? I don't think I've ever heard of it. I've heard of New Dimension Home Electronics. There's that UBC. That's the one I was trying to find the other day. Back when the Austin one we had. Mom and I went there plenty of times. John Hardy's still around. Mentioned before that isn't, sadly. That is. They're still using the same logo. That sadly isn't anymore. They had 2 locations. They had that one, and there was one down in the subway level, right next to the escalators, or no, the former escalators. I think I even mentioned that here, bit by bit. Last one was just the other day here. Crypto quotes. Oh, they were using that. I think they're still using that logo. Let me check. Yeah, I think they're still using that logo. We've already seen that. Embers, yeah.
Embers. Only embers.
It's not around anymore, but I remember it. Remember the Embers. Dave's Pizza, no. Yeah, it closed. Even though it's a different Dave's. Sears Portrait's gone. Bonanza, of course, is. Even though I missed that. It's really good. Holiday in South still around. And Brogan is. K102. I think they're still around, but they might have had a genre change. I should really listen. Rochester Swim Club, is that? It sounds like the one that posts swim meets in Rochester. No. It didn't sound right. There's a swim club, but... No, the one I was thinking of is this, Rochester Swimming. They have live swim meet streams in the pool in the rec center. And some of these you can also see the pool in 125. Warm water pool. Penthouse. Where was that? I wonder what that would have been. Oh, atop the Keeler Hotel. But, yeah, it's not there anymore. Now up there it's the... I can't remember what it's even called anymore, but... So an upscale hotel. Well, Taylor is by itself, but even more, if you will. I think Viking's still around, except not Dotson anymore. Well, I think I might have... Oh. No. The Big G. I'm not sure if they do anymore, but in Austin, at the Echo Lanes there, bowling center, sometimes if you get a gutter ball, that screen above would say, the Big G. More like this, though. Donaldson's down. First Bank. Let's see. No, it doesn't look like it. And of course, it doesn't really tell you where it is. Famous Footwear is. It's still around. I don't think around here. Yeah, Furniture isn't. Class Village is. Yeah, unless United Furniture just doesn't advertise that much. I don't think they are. Dyson's, that sounds familiar. Maybe they're still around. Don't do much dry cleaning, anything like that. Of course, the library's still around. You know, this is a different location. That is Historic Third. Again, Wars isn't. I don't think that is at Austin Reed. This place, no. Massey's downtown. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it isn't. I mean, I walk downtown every day. There's a Massey building, so maybe it was in there. That'd be interesting to go to. Of course, I'd have to have a time machine, like a DeLorean or something. That place again. That's still around, I do believe. Yep, that's still around. It's right next to Best Buy. That isn't that King Optical. No, that's Orinoco, so I'm not sure if they are anymore. Northgate Health Club, I think they are. That place still is. No, I don't. Not there anymore. I think I mentioned them before, though. Been in there. I'm not even sure if I mentioned that. My sister Jess worked at a Christian bookstore in Austin. And Newt's. That's still around. But where's this one? In the alley. And I know they have the one here. Or it was. See? And that's the alley. Big problem is it was upstairs, so you had to take the stairs up there. So I'm not sure if there was an elevator that you could take from the bottom. We were only there at that one once, and that's it for that one. Back to Austin. No scanners, Sound World. I think I recall that. Even though this is 83, so yeah, I think I recognize that one too. At local Catholic high school. Good Earth Food Color. I think they're still around, or maybe not. Yeah, that isn't. I don't think that isn't either. Or that is, whatever. Yonkers, that went out with them all. Bobby Rogers, no. I don't think they were there when we moved there. Vandals, I've seen it elsewhere. I'm not sure about Oak Park. Flower Box, yeah, that sounds familiar. The Beesons. Yeah, that was in that Sterling Shopping Center for a while. And when they moved out, it was the Restore. That is. Ride Your Bike is still around, but yeah, I don't think Restore's there anymore. I think we didn't see it when we looked. Yeah, see, because that's where this was. Impact, let's see. Yeah, you can just see it right there. Restore. I wonder where it is now. Down in Austin. It was, I don't know, far off area. No. Looks like it's only ours now. South Central, I think they're still there. Whatnot Shop, no. Quality Appliance, no. Carrot House, I don't think so. Moline Awards, yeah. In fact, that was right over here again. Fox Electric's still around. What's this? Oh, that's the Kmart. Hanson Tire Service, yep, they're still around. That isn't. I think that's where the UBC was. Four Seasons, that's still around. I think. Steer sadly isn't. That's pretty good. Dairy Queen, that's still around, of course. Hubble House, that's around. We were thinking of going there for Mother's Day, but expensive. Another Austin one. No. Recognize that. Lee Kitchen Center. Where's that? Penny Supermarkets. Never heard of that one. I wonder where this was. Maybe this wasn't even one in Austin. And it doesn't say unless there's another page. Yep, there is. Sterling bucks. So this must have been in Sterling. My mom and I are gonna go out to the flea market, so I'll be heading out pretty soon. Sterling Stockade. I've heard of it. I don't think it was there when we were there, but I've heard about it like in the old. You're from so-and-so Facebook group. So in this case, of course, it would have been Austin, Minnesota. KGTC, of course, they're still around. Still Channel 10. Still an NBC affiliate. Oakleaf. That's the one, I think I mentioned that. That's the one that had the 10-inch screen with the star in the center. There's UBC finally. Evidently, yeah, they never advertised any smoke alarms, so that's why I couldn't find any. Chinese cheese spot. Sounds familiar. Fort Town, that's Mel Saxton's now. Even though, kind of like, a lot of cities were, like the old timers, if you will, call something by what they remember it as. A lot of people will still call that Ford Town. I think it's Mel Sancton's, or maybe it switched. Yeah, looks like it is. And only one scan. I remember Dad would drive by here, or not drive by, a walk route. With walk routes, let's see. I'll try I had it all wrong. So yeah, we'd start here, walk down, cross, then come down this way. Sorry about that flashing. Should be doing that Google Maps. And then we're coming down this way. And stop over here, and then this would be our break spot, because this is where our Lake City friends lived when they lived in Austin. I mentioned they had a baby Sears without the cover in the basement, and then an actual manhole down there. Then they had I gave them a D1 9-volt powered one, put in the basement, and they had an RC upstairs. So yeah, and then after we were down there, we'd come down this way, I think on 27th. Yeah, because there's the Ford, and you see that right there. So then we'd come back through here, and a lot of times we'd cut through the lot so we could see it. Again, sorry about that flashing. Doing Google Maps. And come back down. Go across to that side, and then come back home. But I remember one time, Dad had the dog. I think it was Pixie, our little Pomeranian. And he was on this side, I believe. Or maybe he was on this side. Anyway, either way, he was right over here. I might have mentioned this before, but anyway. First Wednesday of the month, 1 o'clock, he was right here, and he said he literally had to change his pants when he got home. Literally. Scared the poor dog, too. But anyway, yeah, the cheese spot, I think that is still there, because I remember that now. Crossroads Mall? What is this? I guess maybe that's where that Kmart was then. Anyway, enough for this one. Thanks for watching.